my Shakespeare class once in college. My professor was a vain and pompous man, and he liked to avoid teaching by ordering us to speak about impossibly vague topics. And one day, he calls me up and says, "You will now speak to the class for 20 minutes about the ways that Shakespeare uses the English language." And I said, no. Because in the first place, Shakespeare did not use the English language. Shakespeare invented the English language. And if you want to talk about using the English language, let's talk about John Milton or Alexander Pope, someone who took the pre-approved building blocks of official English and mounted them into a tinker-toy palace of nouns and verbs and adjectives. But before that, at the end of the 16th century, the official English language really didn't give Shakespeare much to work with. The Reformation and the printing press and common people's literacy was only a few generations old, and for 1,000 years, the church and the state had made sure that language was only something that could be spoken by the priests and the princes, which left ordinary English people with not a lot to say. So when Shakespeare's characters have to tell the truth about who they are, they have to start making it up. And every page in the first folio is full of strange new words and bizarre idioms and ridiculous turns of phrase. It's like speaking in tongues, like hot lava, which only forms new land after it's cooled. So I said to him, "No, Professor, Shakespeare did not use the English language. He was just making it up as he went along." And so to get my revenge for the D- I earned that day, I want to tell you a story about Shakespeare and the invention of language.
Yeah.
When I was 25 years old, I lived in Little Rock, Arkansas. And my best friend, Chris, he was an actor, and he sat one chair further down.
Okay.
And he went off to audition in New York, and he came back in love. He had met this high-class British actress, Sarah Wentworth, an apprentice at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and she was coming to Arkansas to visit him. And at first, Chris couldn't understand what a paragon like this could see in an American peasant like him. But then he figured it out, that this is just a rebellion that high-class British girls have to live through.
Hello, Mummy. Hello, Papa. I shan't be coming home yet because I have a mediocre American boyfriend. And this weekend we shall be playing miniature golf and eating barbecue and drinking Budweiser in the back seat of his Chevrolet. Take that, Mummy. Take that, Papa.
And for the crowning glory of the weekend, Chris was going to take her to a minor league baseball game. And the night before she arrives, he comes to me and says,
"Dude, you gotta help me. You gotta be my wingman. You gotta come to the game and put on like a constant stream of baseball chatter so I can be your native guide, so I can translate for it."
So we get prepared. We write out every strange word, every bizarre idiom, every ridiculous turn of phrase that we have ever learned from Vin Scully or Marv Albert or Joe Garagiola.
Okay, so say there's a high pop fly.
That's a can of corn. So named because it refers to grocery clerks who would take broom handles and knock off the top can of a display, which drops straight down into their apron. An easy catch. A can of corn. Yeah, okay. And we are filling up 40, 50 index cards, an entire lexicon. God, she is going to be so impressed when I go into a Pentecostal rant and Chris interprets it all for her. And the day arrives, the kind of hot summer day that made baseball possible, a midsummer's daydream. And the cold beer and the hot dogs are just proof that there is a God who loves us very much. And there's this beautiful British girl who's sitting between us, taking in all the quaint American rituals, all the silly mascots, and the bobblehead giveaways, and the organist is playing a polka version of Stairway to Heaven. And with the first pitch, thwack! The violence of a 95-mile-an-hour fastball hitting the glove right ahead of the helicopter whiff of a late swing, and Sarah's eyes widen as I begin speaking in tongues. Ooh-wee, that ball's got some smoke on it!
Come on, baby, bring the heat!
Put the ace of spades right up in his eyes!
Can't hit what he can't see!
Strike 2 on the inside corner!
Baby, that's the jam sandwich!
He got a hole in his swing!
He cannot touch the inside heat!
He cannot handle that funky cheese! Come on, baby, put him away!
Ladder, elevate!
Strike 3!
Bring him up and sit him down!
Got him looking at the Linda Ronstadt pitch!
The Linda Ronstadt pitch?
The Linda Ronstadt pitch refers to a fastball that blew by you.
And she smiles, like she has just read the footnote in the Arden Shakespeare. The phrase belongs to her now. She understands. And the next batter is getting nothing but breaking balls. I mean, this guy's throwing some filthy jump.
Ball had hair on it!
Here comes the deuce,
The frisbee!
the trapdoor slider,
Captain Hook!
the old Uncle Charlie.
Got him guessing!
Now drop the yellow hammer on him.
The yellow hammer?
So named for the yellowhammer bird, which dives steeply on its prey. It describes a 12-6 curveball that drops straight through the strike zone.
And her eyes are shining. It's the way you feel when you hear good Shakespeare. That you don't have to translate every difficult idiom. That the language brings you in with the passion and the rhythm of it all. And for Sarah Elizabeth Wentworth, this is just Shakespeare in reverse. So with 2 outs, the Tulsa batter smokes a hot line drive into left center, and it's going to find the gap. It's going to go for extra bases until, at the last moment, the outfielder races in from stage left and stabs the ball for the 3rd out. Oh, nice! He got on his horse and ran down the fly, showing some range in the field.
Shaded to center and got a good jump, taking a double away.
You know, you're speaking in blank verse.
And she's right. Blank verse, the natural rhythm of English poetry, that iambic heartbeat, bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, bum bum. The Assyrian came down like the wolf on the fold, and his cohort was gleaming with purple and gold.
I will not eat them in a boat.
And of course, baseball is written in the same language as Shakespeare. It has the same adrenaline, the same creative ecstasy. That these are both passionate and unauthorized forms of invented Anglo-Saxon speech. And you can just hear the messenger racing into Act 4.
My liege, he caught on his horse and ran down the fly, showing some range in the field. He shaded to center and got a good jump, taking the double away.
And you can hear it when Jerry Remy says from spring training, "Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this son of New York." And Sarah is marveling at Chris, like Miranda in The Tempest. She has discovered America, a race of noble savages who speak in iambic pentameter.
Wonder how many goodly creatures are there here. How beauteous mankind is. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it.
And we go to the bottom of the first. And the leadoff hitter hits a nasty chopper down the third base line. It's one of those Macbeth ground balls, because fair is foul and foul is fair. And the third baseman bobbles it. He can't find the handle. His throw is high, and on a bang-bang play, the runner is safe. And Chris and I are going nuts. It's a comedy of errors.
That ball ate him up?
He airmailed the throw.
E5 for those of you scoring at home.
And Sarah is looking at Chris like the fairy queen in love with an ass.
Speak, I pray thee, gentle mortal, speak again. Mine ear is much enamoured of thy speech. The sun still doth tend upon my state, and I do love thee.
And the next batter hits a weak pop fly into short center.
Flair.
A blooper.
Diane Quayle.
And it drops for a hit.
A hit, a palpable hit.
And now, even Sarah's learning her lines.
A base hit by any other name would smell as sweet.
So with runners on first and second, nobody out, the batter's job is the same as mine. To sacrifice himself, to let his friends move into scoring position. And as he leans over the plate to drop down the bunt, the ball hits him in the arm. And he charges the mound, and the base is clear.
Woo, we got a rhubarb.
A Donnybrook.
Genuine brouhaha.
And I can hear Sarah whisper.
From muse of fire that would send the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage princess to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene.
And when the dust settles, the bases are loaded. The table is set. Ducks on the pond, baby.
Then should the clean-up hitter like himself assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds should famine, sword and fire crouch for employment.
Ball 1 is outside. Ball 2 is in the dirt. And with the bases loaded, the pitcher has got to come over the plate. So he screws up his courage to the sticking place. And he lets go a meatball right down Broadway, right in the hitter's happy zone. And it's a swing and a drive! Way back! Way back!
Holy Toledo, good night, Irene!
Open the window, Aunt Minnie, 'cause this one's coming home for dinner!
Break out the rye mustard, Grandma! This one's a grand salami!
He hit the big fly!
Bomb!
A 4-run jack!
Gator, a dinger!
A ramalama ding-dong!
Ding dong, the pitch is dead!
He swung for the fences! He went yard!
Goodbye, Mr. Spaulding. It's raining baseballs in Borneo.
Hasta la vista, Senor Pelota! Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has left the building. And Sarah Wentworth is gone.
Speak again, bright angel. For thou art as glorious to this day as a winged messenger of heaven.
She is going to quit the Royal Shakespeare Company just to follow minor league baseball with this guy. And everything is perfect until the top of the 6th, when Chris makes a mistake. He goes off to the concession stand at the very moment that I have run out of index cards. And Sarah is expecting me to keep going. Oh God, it's like that nightmare you have. You know, when you imagine that you're in one of those obscure history plays like King John or Henry VI Part 2, and you forget your lines, and you just have to start making it up. Thou hellhound, thou varlet, now shall the rage of heaven berack thy cursed house, and orphan thy vile posterity withal. Come on, yeah, that's pretty good. Right? Yeah. No, I mean, if you heard that in the middle of Two Noble Kinsmen, you wouldn't stand up and object. buy it. Oh, you wouldn't know the difference, would you? So, I realized I just have to start faking it. Like, come on, baby! Fry him up a donut! That's right, come on! Give that man a straw for his grape soda! Come on, baby! Whip the donkey with a noodle! And Chris comes back with more beers, but Sarah's getting suspicious.
Chris, darling, what does it mean to whip the donkey with a noodle?
And he looks at me in panic, because he doesn't know that I've just told her that this refers to a batter who fouls off an endless succession of pitches. Which is pretty good, right? Right? You know? Yeah, count still full. Pedroia fouls off another one. He's working that pitcher to the ground. Yeah, that kid sure knows how to whip the donkey with a noodle. This is the invention of language. As God is my judge, they will be saying on ESPN next year. That deserves to be in the canon. But Chris goes in a different direction.
To whip the donkey with a noodle refers to the sidearm motion of a submarine pitcher.
Use it in a sentence.
And with the left-hander Matsui on deck, here comes the left-hander Javi Lopez to whip the donkey with a noodle.
But it's too late. She's on to us.
This isn't real baseball talk. You're just a couple of phony intellectuals. And I can have plenty of those back in London.
And she flew back to Heathrow the next day. Oh, God! It was a twin killing, a rally-ending double play. Out!
Out, brief candle.
Life's but a poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more.
It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury,
Signifying nothing.